So I've been in your seats before, way before having any sort of success in the fitness industry. Initially terrified, wondering what I was doing here without a clue on how to launch a full-fledged fitness business. And now I stand before you just a few short years later, and guess what? I'm still terrified, but even more excited to share with you what I've learned so that you too can accomplish this and more. So I've been asked to speak with you today on a variety of topics. So here are my objectives. Number one, what it takes to grow and build multiple six-figure businesses. Number two, bringing the awesomeness, how to manage your clients and employees to create a cult-like following. Number three, the right way to sell, how to generate more revenue from your existing lead list than ever before. And lastly, to inspire you. But before I begin, I'm gonna give you a little context. I'm gonna tell you a story. You see, I'm originally from the South, Atlanta, Georgia, to be exact. There you go. But I moved to the state of Michigan at a young age due to a very difficult and traumatic family situation. You see, I'm sure like many of us here today, I had a really challenging upbringing. Thankfully, a lot of love. But in terms of financially, things were tight, extremely tight, due to the fact that my mom was raising 3 children on her own on a mere secretary's salary. But that challenging upbringing, it built character and it built work ethic. And that is my lesson point number one. Sheer work ethic. As nothing else matters what I'm about to present on today if this isn't there. And I really want to drive that point home. So thankfully, I developed this work ethic because at the ripe old age of 11, I started my professional working career. You see, in the state of Michigan, you have to be 14 to legally work, right? But I found a loophole. So you only had to be 12 to start refereeing AYSO soccer. And even better, you could be 11 and enroll in the preparatory course. So that's exactly what I did. I enrolled, I took the 3-month prep course, I passed the cert, and just after my 12th birthday, began my official refereeing career. Things were great. I was killing it, making awesome money for a 12-year-old. I was making $13 cash a game, which I thought was phenomenal, right? But it was tough. I remember being 12 years old, one of my very first games, I was out there, and I had to throw a red card to a group of 17-year-old chicks after a fight broke out. And if you've ever seen chicks fight, it is terrifying. So for the next 8 years or so, I probably worked about 10 different jobs, from delivering papers to flipping burgers. Basically, you name it, I did it, always hustling, always grinding, working to put money in my pocket and to save for my ultimate goal, which was college. So at age 17, I enrolled and eventually put myself through the best university in the country. That's right, Michigan State University, baby. Go Green, otherwise known as the Elite 8 Spartans, 1 game away from the Final Four, which I'm going to Indianapolis. Tom Izzo, if you are watching, take it home, baby. That's right, I'm gonna show you how I really feel. All right, so there you can see me hard at work freshman year. Classes were tough. And if you couldn't tell, I'm a passionate guy. This is me a little bit more recently, circa 2014, fresh off a Rose Bowl victory here in Pasadena, California. Sorry for any Stanford fans. Booyah. So over the course of the next 3.5 years, excuse me, my mouth's a little chapped. So over the course of the next 3.5 years, I put myself through school. And when I graduated, I landed a job running a career development program for college students at UCLA. So I thought to myself, California, here I come. Now you must know at this point in my life, I was no pinnacle of fitness. And in fact, the healthy and fit lifestyle of California was definitely a culture shock. But I soon adopted it as my best buddy and first fitness mentor, a guy named Adam Hartwell, showed me something that would soon become an addiction, the gym. So for the next 5 years, I developed this passion. I developed this addiction, and I got myself into pretty good shape, right? So much so that it was very natural to get my personal training certification back in 2009 through NASM. So I was pumped up, I was ready to go, I was ready to help people, right? Change lives, that's what we're all here for. On the nights and weekends, doing training at a local big box gym, until I saw an ad marketing this fitness guru marketing guy, character name, Bedros Keuilian. We've all seen him before, right? So he was advertising this opportunity to actually build a business rather than train one-on-one. So I thought that was pretty cool. I looked into the link, and I thought what he actually had to say was pretty attractive. But this is when the travel bug hit me. You see, I'd always wanted to learn another language, first and foremost, live in another culture, continent, and even hemisphere. In the year before, I had spent a few weeks in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I fell in love with the Brazilian people, AKA hot Brazilian girls in little bikinis. And I thought Brazilian Portuguese was absolutely stunning, or at least the hot Brazilian girls in little bikinis that spoke the language, one of the two, right? So I packed my bags in 2010. I was all excited, ready to go, picked a spot in an island in the very south of the world called Florianopolis, told my family and friends what I was doing and why, and they thought I'd lost my mind, right? They were wondering what I was doing, why was this possible, what are you trying to get yourself into? But I had to follow my passion, I had to follow my calling, and I had to follow, the Brazilian bikinis. Too quick on that one. Which leads me, in all seriousness, to my lesson point number 2, is follow your intuition. Follow your gut, your passion, your calling, whatever you want to call it. You must follow it, as you only have one shot, this thing we call life. And you must trust that you will connect the dots later in life, even if it doesn't make sense to others at the time. And you'll be happy to know that because I followed my calling, I found my hot Brazilian girl in little bikini on day 1. Boom. Tatiana. And she's become my girlfriend, my partner, and my best friend, and a giant reason for my success. Ci amo, mi amor. And on a side note, I really wanted to put her up in a bikini, but she threatened to kill me, so I thought this picture would do. So I really enjoyed my time abroad, and in May of 2012, I knew I was coming back to California, so I thought I might as well look into that Bedros Keuilian character again, and that Fit Body Bootcamp franchise that was catching some steam. So I filled out the franchise paperwork, the expression of interest. I talked to the initial team, Fernando, Tuan, and Shannon at the time. I scheduled my call with B. And then over the next 2 months, I started my intensive research project on Fit Body Bootcamp. From talking to 20 owners from across the country and world, from New York, California, Canada, Florida, and back. A lot of love and gratitude to these people, most notably Shauna, but there was many others, so thank you so much. I'm very grateful and indebted to you. So August 2012, back to California I came, all fired up. Within 7 days, had my franchise agreement signed, my first mastermind meeting under my belt, and then 49 days later, bam, first location, lease signed here in Yorba Linda, California. Booyah, GSD, right? So I was excited, ready to roll. And now, fast forward to March 2015, I'm sole owner of 2 Fit Body Bootcamp locations, one in Yorba Linda and Mission Viejo. I'm a 30% owner in a third, Anaheim Fit Body Bootcamp, which we just opened 14 days ago. We have 52 charter members. Not quite Wilbur, but we're catching. And then I'm 50% owner of OC Cryo Spa, which is an add-on service delivering whole body cryogenic therapy treatments to our clients in Yorba Linda. A little dry mouth. And then from a revenue perspective, went from clearing about $85,000 in contract sales prior to Fit Body Bootcamp 2012 to clearing $504,000 in revenue, in gross revenue receipts in 2014, all in a matter of 31 months. Now, I don't tell you this to brag, although yes, I'm absolutely proud of this fact. And the other side of the coin, I'm not getting on my high horse too quickly either, as there's owners in this very room that this is chump change to. I tell you this to illustrate the point that if you would have told me a mere 956 days ago, just about 2.5 years, $500,000 would have hit my bank account in the past calendar year, I would have thought you were smoking crack. Now, with that said, remember back to lesson point number 1, that strong work ethic and drive that I have. Now, know this was no mistake. This was no accident. This was no luck. I have known for a very, very, very long time that I would be wildly successful, crystal clear, no doubts. But while I always knew the final destination, I didn't always know the how. And that, my friends, is what I'm here to speak with you today. But before we get into the how, you must address the why. You see, the why is the most important of all. If you've ever studied anyone successful in life, they always talk about the why, because the fact of the matter is the list of challenges will be too great. You will fail unless you have a strong enough why. So here are mine. Number 1, freedom. Anyone relate? I value freedom first and foremost. In my humble opinion, working a 9-to-5 with a boss over your shoulder, micromanaging a job you hate, is a modern form of slavery. Now, things could be worse, don't get me wrong. But in my humble opinion, I would much rather be working a 5 to 9, hustling every second of the week for a passionate goal that I believe in. But the point being, with financial resources, you have choices, you have options, lots of them. Without, well, you always have a choice, specifically on mindset, you're much more limited. I like to have the freedom to decide my own fate. Number 2, travel. The world is big. We are not plants. We are blessed to live at a time where you can travel to the 4 corners of the world and maybe more someday soon. I've been fortunate and blessed to live in 3 continents. I speak 2 languages, and I've visited every inhabitable continent in the world. And I have no plans on stopping this pursuit, as life is certainly not about things, rather people and experiences. And in my humble opinion, there is no better experience, there is no better teacher than travel. Number 3, provider. Now, I'm the provider in my household, and I want to continue to be in a position to help my family financially, or when opportunities arise. I'm in a fortunate position to employ all but one family member, and that odd man out is my brother, who's a brand new owner of a Fit Body Bootcamp location. How about a round of applause for the little bro? Next up is give back, contribution. Now, admittedly, this was not at the top of my list when I started. To tell you the God's honest truth, I'm not a philanthropist by nature. But just like anything, this too can be learned. And what I noticed was when I gained more financial freedom and my needs met, this is something that I'm excited to pursue. So our organizations donate to the Young Dreamer Network charity every month and other charities of our choice. So please vote for me, and I'll be greatly indebted. But at the very least, being able to give away a free month of fitness is a fantastic thing to do, to add value to the community, and it makes me feel awesome and how lucky I am to be in that position, right? You can add value to the world. And lastly, which is my lesson 3, and my last bullet point, is strive for happiness. Take the time to get to know yourself deeply and strive for the things that make you happy. Because ultimately, all the things I just shared are things that make me happy, and that's the real point of it all. So it's extremely important never to lose sight of this. So now, with the why and the who addressed, let's get to the how. Now, let me preface. It's a tall order to digest and regurgitate all the things enable you to be able to operate 3 six-figure businesses. But what I've done is I've narrowed it down and I've created 12 bullet points that I think are most important to your success. This ranges from the fitness pro just starting out all the way to the advanced owner. And my hope is at the very least you can take 1 or 2 nuggets of information and just like all the other speakers say, act. So here we go. Number 1, I bought a Fit Body Bootcamp franchise or franchises. Now, no, this is not a paid Fit Body Bootcamp advertisement, although it might seem like that. But for me, while I had a ton of passion, a lot of sales experience, and I was in great shape myself, I didn't think this constituted me to be able to run a full-fledged fitness business. And in reality, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Fit Body Bootcamp had a band of owners, a lot of experience, and proven systems that worked. And to me, that was attractive. And ultimately, all I did is I found success and modeled it. And if you can learn one thing from me today, again, no need to reinvent the wheel. Find success, model it, and you too will achieve it. Number 2, territory. So essentially, where are you gonna launch your business? Now, for most of you, it's probably pretty easy. You can launch in the very city in which you live. Now, for me, it was a little tricky. I was abroad at the time, as I mentioned. I was returning back to California. Ironically, I was living in Costa Mesa, the city which we're in right now. But for me, there was already a Fit Body Bootcamp territory bought. So I had to research the demographics. I put in the time, I put in the hustle, and I found a city initially called Yorba Linda. I had never heard of it before. And it was 15 miles inland, which is typically a no-no for a Southern Californian. But I let the demographics steer me, and I put in the work. Additionally, I point this out to remind you and illustrate the fact that you do not need to know everyone in your city to be successful. In fact, you can be like me and know no one and still find success. But you gotta put in the hustle, you gotta put in the grit, and you gotta let the demographics steer you. And when you find the money trail, act. For me, location, and for me, locations, since I have 3. Now, in all honesty, my first location was a grind. I was hustling, driving around Yorba Linda aimlessly, not knowing what I was doing, calling on signs, wasting about a month of my life until I accidentally ran into a real estate broker. And not a big broker, a family-owned business, a team of hustlers that returned my call quickly and effectively. And within a week, they showed me 4 properties, and eventually we're negotiating and leases signed. In my more recent 2, I just called back my broker and said, John, this is what I'm looking for in my time frames. And within weeks, he's showing me properties, leases signed. I have 3 locations. Little effort, a lot of result. And I illustrate this bullet point to prove to the fact that it is so essential, especially when you're opening multiple business, to link up with great professionals that typically spend at least 8 hours in their given field a day, and let them use their expertise to guide you. While you, as the entrepreneur, look at the big picture. Number 4, business or real estate attorney. Now this is a must. You can make ad hoc one location together, but when you're opening multiple locations, you need an attorney on your side. As you'll see, a common theme for me, go with a referral, always. I was lucky enough to live in California. I called Bedros. He gave me his referral, and now Ben Berger is my real estate attorney. It's a pretty cool thing. I also want to remind you that lease agreements are very long and very complex. So having an attorney on your side is essential, as at the very least, he can guide you and instruct you and coach you on what you're signing your name on. And at the very most, can save your butt from missing a disaster. Also, when you're having partners, this is essential to put your partnership agreement or employment agreement together. Now, do know I have created my corporations with LegalZoom. My CPA calls it Legal Doom. But I did have my CPA over my shoulder, and it was for businesses that I solely owned. But looking ahead for any business partnership or employment agreement, or in all honesty, anything in the future, I will always refer it back to my attorney. Number 5, get a professional bookkeeper. As always, go with the referral. If you don't know a bookkeeper, you can go to a local Chamber of Commerce meeting or a local BNI chapter meeting and find someone in person. I'm also happy to plug my own bookkeeper. I get nothing out of that. Her name's Lindy Clark. She can service your business anywhere in the world. She just so happens to live in Southern California. But the point is, occasionally I'll hear of an owner who wants to handle this on their own to save some money or try to play around with QuickBooks to save some time. I cringe at this. As the owner and entrepreneur, your job is to delegate, motivate, and sell, not to bookkeep. Also, because my bookkeeper does all the tedious work, there's nothing difficult on my end. And in fact, my favorite part of the month, as crazy as it sounds, is meeting with this person, with Lindy, because she's able to give me the up-to-date financials, tell me where things are going well, things are not going well. She has 20 years experience. And for a young guy like me, she serves as my business advisor. And then quarterly, which I'll get to in a minute, with my CPA. Those are my favorite times of the month, and then quarter. And really the point here is the value that I get is the increased knowledge on how to invest and then shield tax, which is so important if you're gonna open multiple businesses. Which leads me to my next point, certified public accountant, get a CPA. Now my CPA was a direct referral from my bookkeeper, and that is a great partnership to have. Because the beauty of it is you can eliminate yourself as the middleman by looping these professionals together. And that's, again, a point that I want to drive home. As an entrepreneur and business owner with multiple businesses, 100% of your focus needs to be on having a team of industry professionals and then you connecting the dots, putting them together. Also, this next point will take your business so forward, especially if you have multiple locations. You must meet with your CPA 3 times a year. 1 time a year is just a scorekeep. They can't do anything for you at this point except tally the results and tell you how much to write Uncle Sam. So many novice owners initially just meet with them once a year, and you are leaving so much opportunity, so much money on the table, especially if your plan is to grow. Your next meeting should be in June, and that's a mid-year checkup. Your CPA already has your books from your bookkeeper, and they can guide you, tell you where things are going well, where you're weak at. And then lastly, in my estimation, the last meeting of the year, most important, is in October. Because in October, you have about 60 or 75 days to make any final adjustments before the books close on January 1. Now, for me specifically, my strategy, knowing that I wanted to grow and open other locations, my CPA advised me to invest in about $30,000 of equipment and other costs into my current and the new facilities before the end of the year. This will allow me to acquire more capital because I'm investing my money for future years, while decreasing and deferring my tax liability. Now keep in mind, I still pay my taxes. But through good planning, I'm able to take my money and implement that and open other locations. And that's a beautiful thing. Oh, number 7. It's the first time you've seen this today, right? Join a mastermind group. Now, in my estimation, if you were to ask me one thing that took my business to the next level and why I'm standing here, it's because of the mastermind group. Now, every masterminder will tell you until they're blue in the face how valuable that is. If you have a Fit Body Bootcamp location, easy, done for you. HQ, B, Fernando, Valerie, they set one up. Get there. If you don't, find a mastermind group. B has one, obviously, you talked about today. But don't be afraid of the investment. As B, my mentor, says, you have to pay to play. And that is the truth. Now, think about it. Think of your clients who get in the best shape and the best results. They are willing to pay top dollar for your professional coaching and professional services, right? The same is true here. And the fact of the matter is, when you surround yourself with like-minded and driven people, good things happen. You will get smarter. You will get wiser. You will have more information. You'll be more driven to do better. And to humble myself, to tell you the God's honest truth, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. And in fact, on my natural God-given ability, I'm natural at best. From natural intelligence to physique, etc. The list goes on. But the reason for my success and the key factor is that I'm willing to surround myself with winners and people who have done what I'm trying to do and again, model their success. Number 8, now we're picking up some steam. Systems, 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 and? If you own and operate multiple businesses, this word is your best friend. I create and operate my systems, and my systems operate my business. And if you break it down, all the word systems means, in this example, is breaking down a concept so complex like the operation of a business and breaking it down step by step by step. So if you can just break everything you do down, step by step, write it down, put it in a manual, and ensure your staff does it in this painstakingly boring but exact fashion, you'll find success. In a perfect scenario for me, that I have multiple locations and maybe more someday soon, my goal is to have at any location, at any day of the week, my client to come in at any of my locations to have that same world-class experience and that same process experience. And that's a beautiful thing. Number 9, short and sweet. Most of you got this, but I know there's a few newbies in here, so I had to throw it in. If you missed the boat on this, email marketing is essential. The power of the list. This is your moneymaker. The ability to create and grow your list is absolutely essential when you're selling $2,400 plus programs, multiple year programs. You need to position yourself as the expert, share content, and the biggest thing is do it consistently. Enough said. Here we go. Last 3 bullet points. This is the meat here. My man Henry Ford, nothing happens until someone sells something. Ain't that the truth? Number 10, the sales process. Now I love to sell. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's exciting, it's rewarding, it's fulfilling, it's life-changing. But I wasn't always good at sales. Just like anything, it's an acquired skill. And forget the stereotype that you have to be this outgoing, charismatic, extroverted individual to find success. My partner, Tatiana, she's quiet, shy, she's timid initially, but she kills it just the same. The point here, it's a learned skill with a variety of styles. So if you can sell and you like to sell, that is huge because you're gonna have to in order to rapidly grow your businesses. Because you will have 3 types of trial clients. Number 1 will buy from you whatever you do. Number 2, they will not buy from you whatever you do. And number 3, they could potentially buy from you, but they need to be shown value. And number 3 is the difference between surviving and thriving. Now, if you cannot sell or you're afraid to sell, hope is not lost. You have 2 options as far as I'm concerned. Number 1, and my greatly recommended option, is learn. It's an acquired skill. Go to Toastmasters, take a course on selling, develop a script, and practice, practice, practice. I also find that you can much more easily sell something that you're passionate about. So if you're not passionate about fitness, that's okay. Go find something that you are and go sell the hell out of it. Amen. Which leads me to the second option, which is to hire. And in all honesty, if you're not willing to sell, this is okay too, but you have to know that, you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be prepared to pay out commission for that, because sales is one of the highest paid professions in the world for a reason. So if you can't sell, you don't want to sell, that's okay. Hire it out, just be prepared to pay commission. All right, here we go. Now, my 5 steps to the sales process. Now, most likely, most of us here have at least a $200 per month service. Now, in my experience, typically, no one comes charging through the door without knowing you at all ever working out with you, throws $200 cash or signs up for a year or two of fitness and says, yeah, let's do this. That would be nice, but at least in my experience, no. So as B said today, you have to begin with the trial offer. Now, if you have a boot camp or group training, you can do somewhere between 14 days. Currently, our boot camp's doing 6 weeks. If you have personal training, it's a little bit more difficult because obviously you're giving away time at a low rate. But you start with this trial and then ultimately upsell to a longer-term program, as B says. Now, know that the first steps, 4 steps in the process I'm going to share with you are just to set up the sale. But they are so important because by the time you sit down with the client in that meeting, you want to increase your chances of success of closing them. Number 1, have an orientation video. Some of my Fit Body Bootcamp owners have an orientation day or whatever. That's okay, whatever works for you. But in my estimation, technology, automation is so powerful. Have it professionally done, informative, and descriptive. Don't be afraid of paying either. And just as B says, if you can't, he said it today, and this is exactly what I did. Initially, I couldn't pay for it. So I put it together. Tatiana videotaped me. It was horrible, actually, now that I think about it. But it got the job done until I had enough money to professionally invest in it. And even now, a great strategy is I use there's a local film school called Chapman here in Orange County, and I just put a posting on the film school's directory, and I have a film student who's so qualified, the kid's like 19 or 20, and he charges me a quarter of what it would cost a normal paid professional, what Rob would charge me. Also know that clients are gonna have the same 10 questions every time. So the more you can get out in front of that, ease their concerns, welcome them in, the easier it's gonna be, their lower of skepticism, and ultimately they're gonna feel more comfortable with your facility, more knowledgeable, and a better chance to close. Number 2, a warm welcome. Ensure that you have all your clients book their first session if you have group training. For me, after that, my facility's open, but I wanna know when my first-time client is coming in. So 1, my staff can make them feel welcome. And then 2, limit the number of new people per session. So you all know that first-time client, like deer in headlights, they've never worked out a day in their life, right? So if you have more than 3 people that are new to your facility, it's gonna draw attention away off your trainer. And ultimately, it's gonna impact the experience of the rest of the bunch. On the other side of the coin, if you only have a 1 or 2 new people, your trainer can really make them feel welcome and give them that added service, especially if they're terrified. And that's gonna be a good situation in terms of potentially making them a full-time client. Number 3, the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. I read that from some sales book, and that is the God's honest truth. Now, my admin calls every first-time boot camper within ideally 1, but at the most 3 days of coming in. Now, in all honesty, most times she hits voicemail, but that's okay. It's a nice touch. It leaves that warm and fuzzy feeling. Hey, thanks for coming to check out our facility. It proves the point that you are different, you care. It's also the opportunity to share key information, okay? And then lastly, book their welcome, AKA sales consultation. Number 4, autoresponder. So having a professional video done, talking about recovery, putting your own spin on it, your knowledge as a trainer is essential. They get that within the first 3 days. Again, automation. You want to touch your clients in a variety of ways in an automated, systematic approach to give them key information. If you have a Fit Body Bootcamp, headquarters put an awesome sketch video that also informs them on high-intensity interval training. They typically get that after day 7 or so. Because in order to sell higher price programs, you need to educate. Educational-based selling is the way to go. And that way, when you sit down with the client, they're already informed, they know the value, and they're easier to close. Number 10. Nope, we already went through number 10. Number 5, I guess is what I was trying to say. The welcome, AKA sales consultation. Now for me, because typically, at least at this point, it always changes. We vary from 3 to 4 to 6 week intro deals, sometimes 14 days. Typically, most of my intro clients are on 6-week programs, so this is specifically catered to that. But I like to meet with that new client between day 11 and day 17. Now, before day 11, in my experience, they're too new. They don't know your facility. They don't know, like, and trust you yet. They're just warming up. I know some owners that try to sell a long-term program on day one, and if that works for you, awesome. It doesn't for me. I like them to acclimate that to our culture and really have the understanding of our program first. So very important that I don't meet with them within the first 10 days. It also weans out the flakes and protects my time. The last thing I need with so many people coming through the door is to meet with unqualified people. So after the day 10, it weeds that out. However, after day 17, that excitement, that sizzle, it's gone. Kind of like that new Range Rover. That is the coolest ride for the first little bit of time, and then give it a little time. Sorry to burst your bubble tomorrow for whoever wins it. It's just a ride to get you from point A to point B. So the point being is get them while they're excited, get them while they're ready to change their fitness and their life. Additionally, again, going back to the concept of modeling success, I just modeled closed clients off of B. Now, I highly encourage you to put your own spin on it. I think that's extremely important. But again, no need to reinvent the wheel. Stuff works. Now, to give you a brief overview of what my meeting entails, and again, just watch Closed Clients, buy that if you haven't, and make it your own. But when I sit down with them, I give them 3 bullet points, 3 topics of what the meeting is going to entail, just to ease the concern. Number 1 is to give them face time and address their goals. It's all about them, talking about why, what, how we can change, how we can help you. I also use this point to educate them on high-intensity interval training, why boot camps work. Section 2, I discuss nutrition. When I first started this, I would just jam my meal plan down their throat. What I've learned now, some clients want that. Some clients want to go deep. That's fine. Go deep with them. Others just want to get to the point. And if they're ready to buy, I'm ready to sell. And number 3, offer the programs, make a recommendation to change their fitness in their life, and sign them up. And on a final note, the power of masterminds. You must charge at least a $99 enrollment fee. 1, to build value for your program, and then 2, to create a sense of urgency, so that way the first time they sit down with you, you waive it if they sign up today. Tomorrow, they gotta pay. Now, I learned this trick from my man, Freddie. Oh, now before, 6 months prior, I was giving away half a month of boot camp if they signed up today to create that urgency. After that meeting with Freddie, shows you the power of masterminds, like that one little trick. If you can just take one nugget of information, it can make you so much money. Implement it with speed, and I've saved thousands of dollars, kept that money off my facility to grow my other businesses. My man Freddie, I at least owe you dinner. Thank you. All right, last 2 bullet points. This is it. Building community and creating raving fans. Now, this is where the magic happens. If you build a community strong enough, you will, consequently, create raving fans. So there are 1,000 different ways, so this is a pretty challenging thing to bring you all the different ways you can build community, but I've boiled my list down to 6. Number 1, create challenges. Wilbur put this on the scene for us a year ago. Thank you, man, my man. I really appreciate that. These things work, not only for lead generation and conversion, but in all honesty, for retention. You get people super dialed in, you create this awesome buzz at your facility, and you get them crazy results, and then you can market those results to find new people. Works wonders. If you're not doing challenges, do them. Take what Wilbur taught you yesterday. Number 2, events. You have to be doing stuff outside of boot camp to create that family atmosphere. Now, we just did a celebration dinner after our challenge, brought in 65 people, had a really nice dinner on a Sunday night. It was awesome. All I did was model success. Our Fit Body Bootcamp owners, Wilbur and team, have been doing those. I copy and paste, works brilliantly. Also, mud runs, warrior dashes, the Eckermans. If they're here, Eckermans, you guys here? No? These guys kill it in that front. So just copy what they're doing. Every month they're doing something. So I'm trying to take that and implement that to my own boot camp because the stuff works. We're also going to plan a barbecue. We're going to do a Fit Body Bootcamp's games, kind of like a CrossFit Games this summer. Anything to create that extra buzz, that added sense of community is going to build community for you. Also, name introductions. My partner Franco just put this on my radar, but so crucial. What are you trying to do? You're trying to build community. Now, after the trainer's done explaining the exercise routine, when they get to the stations, the trainer says, if you don't know your workout buddy, please introduce yourself. Now, if you've been doing that, awesome. If you haven't, do that. It creates this extra sense of community building. And if you think about what Bedros does, he really just sets up the format, brings us all together, and the magic of this is that we all intermingle and knowledge share, and that's where the magic happens. And that's what you're doing by building community, creating events, and introducing people, being a connector. Also, surveys. You need to be surveying your people. Nissan, I think, mentioned it one time a year. I like to do 3. Now, you can't be all things to all people. You're going to get some crazy responses. I know. However, you should have your finger on the pulse and use those surveys as an added level of mastermind, except instead of doing it with owners, you're doing it with your clients. Because oftentimes they have some great ideas too. And that sticks with retention. Number 4, continual investment into your facility. Have a budget, set it, and put that money right back into your clients and invest in them. I genuinely think this has been I genuinely know this has been a huge reason for my success. My current number is $1,500, but it fluctuates. Before it was less than that. Maybe it'll become more. But I take $1,500, invest it back in the facility. All right? Clients notice that. They appreciate that. And also, that's a great tool. You don't have to start out with everything. You can actually start out with 4 walls and mats. That's what I did in Yorba Linda, my first location. But then when you add on and you continuously add on, and then you take pictures and you put that on Facebook, your clients take notice of that. They know that you value them, and they're gonna stick with you. My clients stay with me for years. Granted, I've been in business for 2.5 years, so I've had still some time, but hey, I have plenty of clients that are with me since day one. Number 5, quarterly reviews and performance bonuses. For your people, your employees specifically, you need to meet with them quarterly. You need to have good communication. I pride myself on communication as number 1, but you also want to set up a platform where you're surveying your employees, because sometimes they don't want to tell you the bad news or the things that are bothering them. But also setting up a specific platform so they can come to you and talk and clear the air, and you can tackle any issues head on. And then performance bonuses. As you're cranking away on boot camp and you're signing up clients left and right, your employees are a giant reason for that. So if they're not getting paid too, they're gonna start that resentment feeling. So make sure that when I grow, they grow too. And lastly, video content. Now this is crucial, especially if you have multiple locations. Because in all honesty, now that I have a few, all my clients don't know me anymore. So how I connect with them is creating good content, throwing it up on Facebook, YouTube, etc., and then adding value to them. They also stay connected with me. So even if they've never met me or don't know me that well, they feel like they know me, and that adds a lot to the retention and builds that community. And yes, creating video is so awkward at first. I mean, everything's cool until the camera comes out, right? Yeah, we all know that. But just like anything, it's an acquired skill. I know for me specifically, I've gotten a lot better. I still have a long way to go, but I'll continue that trend. I'll always learn. I'll always grow. Never peak. All right, number 12. What I'm excited, some of you have asked me about this. I've posted on our Facebook mastermind group. In all honesty, this is gonna be a game changer. So listen up. You guys ready? Waiting for it? Facebook and referral marketing. Now, I hope you're like, yeah, dude, I got that, right? We went through a whole thing with Megan yesterday. The value of referral. B is one of the best online marketers out there, and he'll be the first one to tell you the best way to grow your business is with referrals. You can do all the marketing in the world, and you should, but referrals is the best way to grow your business. And then through Facebook, Facebook's the most popular website in the world, right? Wilbur went into a ton of content. Josh is gonna go in a ton of content tomorrow. You gotta be there. I hope that we're all there. But what I'm gonna share with you is a strategy and a concept that's gonna tie the two together. It worked really, really well for me. But before I do, I wanna preface by saying that you have learned and will learn specifically tomorrow some pretty advanced things on Facebook, from squeeze pages, landing pages, boosted posts, etc. Now, I still see value in that, and I still will explore that. But what I'm about to share with you is a lot more basic. But remember, effective doesn't always have to be advanced. So I want you to imagine, regarding Facebook, to create the ultimate social media post. What would that be? Well, you'd include your location. You'd include your ratings. People have been there. Photos of your community, right? All these things would be the ideal social media post. Well, that is exactly how a Facebook check-in works, okay? It is literally, because of that, it's the most valuable exposure your business could have for 3 reasons. Number 1, it provides a ton of valuable information. All the information, locations, ratings, link to Facebook page or your fan page, pictures, address, etc. All that information's there. But more importantly, and which I'll touch upon in point number 3 as well, it's a discrete, but it's a referral to your business. Basically, when someone's checking in to your Facebook page, they're telling the world and all their friends, I'm here, you should be here too. Also know that Megan created some great referral strategies, and you should implement them. But at the end of the day, even though your clients love you, they adore you, they are busy people, okay? They might want to help you, but their number 1 objective of the day is not to grow your business, okay? So you're going to try to find a way, Facebook check-in, to have them refer with little effort on their part, and that is a powerful thing. Number 2, it provides a rich experience that highlights friends. So ultimately, the post doesn't stop after that. Facebook highlights friends who have been there, reviews they've made, other relevant location, and photos. This info also serves to illustrate the experience of being there. And number 3, and arguably the most important thing, is that a Facebook check-in is typically seen by at least 100 friends, upwards of 600. And again, to reiterate point number 1, when someone checks in on your Facebook, they're saying, I'm here and you should be here too. Because no one takes the time to whip out their phone, check into somewhere that they absolutely hate, right? So because of this, a check-in encourages word-of-mouth advertising. Now, it's not an active referral. It's not Susie calling her friend Mary, hey, Mary, you got to check out this boot camp. It's Susie's posting on Facebook. Mary sees that, and then Mary starts asking questions about your boot camp. And all Susie has to do is revert them to you. How easy is that? So, my problem. So I got this. Over the last handful of months, I'm thinking, how am I going to incentivize my clients to check in? Because at the end of the day, some will. I had 300 clients in my first location. About 10 did this consistently. 10. I don't know about you, not being a math major, that's not much. So for a variety of reasons, people won't unless you incentivize this activity. So my solution is Sweat Angels. All right? Now, Sweat Angels is an organization, and through the power of charity, asks for check-ins. So Sweat Angels, in a very organized fashion, puts together a list of 12 charities, does all the back-end work, and then asks for members, aka boot camps and other fitness facilities, to make pledges for charity. They ask for a 40 cents per check-in pledge, and in turn, they donate 50% of that to charity. So for every check-in at your facility, your client, aka you, through you, is donating 20 cents to charity. So now, instead of begging for check-ins out of the goodness of your client's heart, you can come to them and ask for a check-in in the name of charity. And that is powerful. I'm gonna show you some examples. So in February, Sweat Angels as a whole, the whole organization, and my facilities being a part of that, donated 732 glasses to the Children's Health Fund nonprofit. In March 2015, well, I guess that's this month, right? Saving pups from kill shelters. Saving kids is all right, but man, you should see the check-ins for pups, you know? It's ridiculous. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So this is Sweat Angels puts together this content. This was halfway through. I posted this on my social media. This was halfway through February. We were about at a point where we could donate 385 glasses to children in need. So, of course, post that all over your social media. Gets people more fired up to check in. And here's the moneymaker right here. You're in March. Yeah, exactly. Point proven. Your check-in equals animals rescued from kill shelters. My Facebook is blowing up, okay? So I'm gonna run through just very few examples. I'm just pulled out in 2 minutes, 30 seconds even. I did some screenshots of my clients now. This is what my clients do on a daily basis. At the very top, her name's Cece, checking in, Tabata. She's with my trainer at Your Belinda Fit Body Bootcamp, and she actually took a picture, because when you sign up through Sweat Angels, they send you a bunch of swag, and one of it is one of the piece of swag to help promote, which you have to promote, is an electronic tablet, which gives all the information of the changing and reoccurring charity. So she took a picture of that, posted it so all her friends can see. Pretty cool, huh? Here are 3 really quick clients. Sergio, almost forgot, Tuesday check-in, saving pups at Your Belinda Fit Body Bootcamp. Andrea, checking in for a cause. Aparna, my favorite, Spartan, by the way. Ooh, yeah. Checking in for charity. Now, Aparna, Your Belinda, again, I found the money trail. It's kind of like a posh type situation where a lot of my clients, because of that demographic, they didn't want to check in. I don't know if they're embarrassed or whatever the case may be, but she'll definitely check in for charity. And she comes to me the other day, and she's like, Bryce, she sends me an email. Tatiana actually responded. Bryce, like, I'm so excited. Like, every time I check in, we're going to charity. I feel like I'm really helping. I'm not sure if you know this, though, that this is really good advertising for you. She's like, I've had 12 people of my friends ask me about your boot camp. I think 3 are coming this week. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That is a beautiful thing. Thank you, Aparna. So, Sweat Angels program results. Now, I wish I was linked up with the organization for 6-9 months to give you some accurate data of what the membership effect is going to entail, but the reality of the situation is I've only been partnered with them for just about 60 days. So it will take a few months before I can see the increased membership effect, but it is coming. What I do know is prior, and this is one of my other facilities, Mission Viejo, prior to Sweat Angels, I had 60 check-ins on average per month. In my first month, on the 28-day month of February, 665 check-ins. Now, I am no math major, but that is more than 10 times. That's a beautiful thing. And the amount of impressions, and for those of you not familiar with impressions, is a data tally of the reach every check-in gets, typically about 175 friends, as we talked about, went from 10,500 Facebook impressions to 116,375 impressions in month 1, 28 days in February. That's a lot more exposure for my business. Also, 2 other points. Because more traffic's being brought to my page, it's affecting my likes. So typically I would get organically like 1 or 2 likes a week. I'm getting on average of 10 now because people are constantly looking at my page. So that's a pretty cool thing too. And then also my posts, because I'm driving more traffic to my page, Facebook sees my page as being more relevant. So my posts now are organically reached by more people. Now, you still have to boost your post and advertise. This is not in lieu of that, but this is just a beautiful thing. This gives you a little snapshot of my login screen in February, 665 check-ins, gives you some data tally impressions, all that. Now, this is taking it to the next step, and I do have to applaud myself on this one. So, doing the math, 266 check-ins costed me about $270 or something like that to get that exposure. So I funneled that advertising money to Sweat Angels program, donate to charity, right? And then you divide by 2 because ultimately they're giving half to charity. So between my other facilities and my cryo spa business, I figured out that I donated about $325 to charity in February, which is great. You know, it's not awe-inspiring, right? But if you think about it, and the beauty of it, it's a continuous donation. So if I donate $325 in February, and that number is going to increase, if you multiply that by 12, and you add in my other facility in Anaheim, if you multiply by 12, just $325, that's about $4,000 for the year. So now I can come to my clients and say, hey, we are on pace to donate $4,000 to charity. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty cool. Do you? I think that's cool too. I'm gonna check in some more. This is great. Now with the addition of my new Anaheim Fit Body Bootcamp third location, I come to my clients, make a video, get a charity thermometer, make a video saying, while that is awesome, we are very appreciative for your work. We're on pace to donate $4,000 this year. We can do better. So how about this? Let's check in more often and get your other boot campers to check in as well, and we're gonna donate 10 grand to charity this year. Now with my third location, there's no doubt in my mind, if we don't hit this, we're gonna come close. And again, going back to contribution, how beautiful thing is that? You can help your own business, you can help more people, and I can donate 10 grand to charity this year. That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. All right, so I was so fired up about this, and I knew the value of check-in. So luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So I was trying in my mind, trying to find a way to encourage more check-ins, okay, before I saw Sweat Angels. When I saw it, kind of like Wilbur said, when he saw Fit Body Bootcamp, he knew. When I saw it, I was like, this is it. This is where the money's at. So I've been on board. We've been talking to the owners, working with the owners. I'm their poster child. I'm on some advertisements. I've seen, some of you have asked me about that. So when I was talking with the owner, I was like, I'm more than happy out of the goodness of my heart to plug Sweat Angels for you. I'm about to, in a fortunate situation, to talk to about 700 fitness professionals, but I want to offer them something, right? Make it more valuable to you. So I personally forged a relationship specifically for Fit Body Bootcamp in all honesty. And if you sign up through this link, this will save you $145 if you choose to sign up with Sweat Angels. Now, as mentioned, it costs 40 cents per check-in. 50% of that goes directly to charity. They also charge a $35 membership fee, just like a processing fee per month. So if you sign up with this link, you have $10 off that fee. Do the math, it's $120 for the year. And then plus, when you have a startup fee, it will be reduced from $150 to $125, because when you start off, they send you a bunch of swag, a tablet, etc. So I hope you're appreciative. Not that much, but at the end of the day, hopefully I can add some value in your life just by being here today. So lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't do some thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank Bedros Keuilian, not only for setting up this event, but for putting together the Fit Body Bootcamp franchise, for mentoring me, and in all honesty, mentoring all of us. I am greatly indebted. You've changed my life, and I'll never forget that. I want to thank the... Lastly, I want to thank, next up, I want to thank Fit Body Bootcamp headquarters, all the people there. Fernando, my brother from Brazil. Valerie, Justin, Tuan, Shannon, who are no longer with. I'm greatly indebted to you people. I want to thank the Fit Body Bootcamp family. You guys are awesome. You are a giant reason I'm here today, so thank you so much for your tutelage and your guidance. I want to thank my mastermind group. You guys are the reason I'm here today. There's not a shadow of a doubt. I want to thank my partners for my new location in Anaheim, Matt, Mandy, and Franco. I want to thank my partner for OC Cryo Spa, Lori. I want to thank my amazing coaches, trainer, and staff, Kelly, and my other list of trainers. I want to list my speaking coaches. This isn't easy, speaking to 700 people, but I had 2 coaches that worked through Susan and Trisha. And lastly, I want to thank my family, my brother. I love you like a brother. You are my brother. But thank you for always challenging me and inspiring me to look at the world from a different lens. I want to thank my mom. I wouldn't be here without you, literally. I want to thank my sister, Emma. You inspire me daily. You are a giant reason that Mission Viejo is here. You helped me build the business, and you have a bright future ahead of you. I love you dearly. And I want to thank my partner, my girlfriend, and my best friend, Tatiana. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. At the very beginning, when I was going to the gym, 5:30 in the morning, no one was there with me. She was. Ci amo. Beijo. So that's all I have for you. On a last note, I'm going to leave you with some words of wisdom, inspiration, and remind you that this is bigger than you. By building the best program, you change lives. You help people lose weight, increase their confidence. You get people off medication. You increase life expectancy and the quality of life within that expectancy. It is your responsibility to never stop learning, never stop growing, and never stop getting better. Thank you.